Alrighty, this video is gonna have a delay too. Doggone it. Anyway, this is just gonna be a very serious video. You know, it's good to have fun and laugh and make jokes and all of that, but sometimes we just gotta be grown and serious. Not grown and sexy, grown and serious. Anyway, this message is for, I want to say, the parents or anyone that is basically raising a child in their home or very involved in a child's life, even if it's not your own biological or what have you. I'm sure you guys saw my other video where I introduced you guys very briefly to my 10-and-a-half-year-old child, 10-and-a-half-year-old son, Lafayette. Well, Lafayette has Asperger's syndrome. It's a very, very high functioning level of autism. He was actually diagnosed with it when he was in kindergarten, I want to say, or right before he went to I believe right before he went to kindergarten, when he was going to get all his shots and all of that to start school. That's when we were advised of his condition, which, you know what, his speech was a little delayed, but I figured he would pick up on it, and maybe because he wasn't around any other children, he was basically just around myself and my mom and my aunt until I met my husband. So I said, you know, he's not around any other kids, you know, speech delay, okay, work on that. But, you know, because at the age of 3, my child was already reading like he was in the 1st or 2nd grade. My mother taught him how to read. My mother and I taught him how to read. So anyway, Lafayette is my joy. That's my baby. That's my twin. He is no longer in special ed. He's been out of special ed for 2 years. I want to say 2 to 3 years now. He's in a mainstream classroom. The only time that he really needs extra assistance is if he's taking like a test. They allow him extra time. Things with comprehension, little things like that. Other than that, he's just a little bit peculiar, but hey, who isn't? You know, children with autism that are fortunate enough to be able to speak out of their mouths and not having to write it or what have you, they're like walking encyclopedias. Basically, anything that they read or see, they soak up, and they're going to repeat it to you exactly the way that they saw it or read it. So basically, he's like teaching me stuff and my husband stuff every day. You know, he's not really good with his interaction. You know, people with autism, they have social skill issues. They don't really want to be bothered with people. They're fine just being by themselves. And you know, when my other children come over, because my husband and I, we do have a blended family, so I do have stepchildren. When they come over every other weekend, I have to force Lafayette to interact with them. I have to force him to go outside and play with them. So that's one thing that we do step in and make him do. If we would leave it up to Laf, he would be on a computer in his room in the basement playing a game. He'd be reading by himself. So the point to all of this is this: we as people, we as parents, I don't know, we get embarrassed or we're in denial. That's the word. We seem to be in denial a lot. I know this lady, I'm not going to say where I know her from, but of course I'm in Cleveland, she's in Cleveland, and she has a son, and everyone around knows that her son needs to basically be seen by a specialist because something's just a little special about the little boy. To my understanding, she hasn't had him checked. She's not going to have him checked because in her eyes, nothing's wrong with her baby. That's denial. That's pride. You're not helping your son. You're hurting him. Stop it. If you have a child in your life, in your presence, and you feel that something is just not as it should be. Now, don't get me wrong. All kids are not going to be strong readers. All children are not going to, you know, pick up on everything or what have you. But you know what I'm saying. Let's keep it real. If something is not quite right, get your child checked. And I'm not just saying with the little itty bitties. I'm saying all the way up. Children from 2, 3 on up to when they leave the nest. Okay? If something is wrong, have your child checked. We're not helping our kids because, keeping them locked in the house or in their room because we're embarrassed or we're scared of what people may say. We need to find out what's wrong with our children. We need to research what's wrong with our children. And we need to find a way to help our children. There are so many programs out there for children with autism, children that have attention deficit, children that have, and my screen just went blank. I don't know what happened. Uh-oh, did I just stop recording? We're going to keep talking. There are so many programs out there for children with different issues. So my point to saying this is to, you know what, I don't know what just happened to my computer. Oh, there we go. Hey, we're back. Okay, anyway, my point to saying this is basically, it's not about us anymore. You've had a child, you're raising a child, you adopted a child, you're a foster parent to a child. It's about that child. Get them checked. Find out what's wrong. Get them in different programs. Read a book. Y'all know how I feel about reading books, Get off of MySpace, off of YouTube for a little while and research it on Google. Google your child's condition or things that you see that are wrong. You may find out something. Don't be embarrassed. We're all a little peculiar. I have my own peculiar ways too. Lord knows. That's basically the only thing I really have to say. Get your child checked and get your child help. Nothing wrong with special ed. I know some adults that swear they know it all that need some special ed. Anyway, nothing wrong with special ed. If your child has to be in there for a couple of years where they need a smaller setting, a teacher that knows how to deal with children with different situations and circumstances, put that child in special ed. Don't worry about what Miss Jones is going to say or, what the other kid's going to say. We are raising our children here. We're not living for the Joneses. We're living for ourselves and our kids. So get your kids checked. That's the whole point of this video. I don't have nothing else to say. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.